My name is Rene van Veenhuizen. I'm working for the International Network on Resource Centers on Urban Agriculture and Food Security, called RUAF Foundation.
We just heard in your presentation that, and we know that 50 to 20% of the world's food is produced in urban areas. But still, you were talking about this ODI study from 2010 saying that there are limitations of urban agriculture. Can you elaborate on this point?
After my presentation, Gordon Praying also showed that many more people depend on multiple livelihood strategies. Many people have other occupations, so it does improve the diversity of diets of people. It does help those people who produce for themselves or for the market in enhancing their situation, improving their situation. But overall, it's not a major visible activity in cities. So that has to be brought down and brought into perspective, that the city is a wide variety of livelihoods.
Can you give us an example, like a flagship project, which is your favorite? You would say this is how a successful organic agriculture could contribute, for example, to increase food security or to make a city more resilient?
I would like to give two, very short, very important. One of the is an example that I mentioned in my keynote. That is the city of Belo Horizonte, where there's a number of people who produced for themselves on open spaces in the city. They collected the waste from the neighborhood, they composted that, and they used it on their lands. Now the city has seen that and seen that provided jobs for those people, and they linked it to food consumption at schools. And so they, as a city, they decided to buy food from those local producers for the schools, for institutions. So there's a very active policy framework. Policies have been developed by the city authorities of Belo Horizonte themselves. I think that's a very good example of how linkages are being made. The second example is in Chicago, where I've seen that there's a program working with ex-convicts in their gardens. They are using open spaces which were formerly being used by the youth from the neighborhood as dealers and criminal activities. And altogether they have integrated the production, the marketing, the production of nutrients by using vermiculture, by using worms in composting, the subsidy streams which are there for using the land, etc. They all have brought that together in one business plan, and they have a thriving business which is very in the middle of Chicago, and it's competing with other users of the land. That's another good example, I think, of multiple functions. Increasingly, cities are looking beyond their borders. They're looking at urban-rural relations. They are looking at stimulating linkages between the citizens and the production around the cities themselves, under the development of so-called sustainable food systems. Now, if you bring, on the one hand, the consumers from cities together with the producers, you might not be able to link them to all the producers. People still would like to have specific products coming from Argentina or South Africa. But if you can make sure that 20, 30, maybe more percentage is being produced close to the city, you can have those people also putting their demands of organic agriculture on those producers around cities. And in that you can stimulate a more environmental friendly or more organic agriculture. Because now the disconnection between what consumers want and what producers are giving is quite strong.